I want to do a story time because I've never done a story time on my channel before. And the reason is because, I don't know, I don't want to say too much, you know, but honestly, this is my channel and this is who I am. I want to get vulnerable. I want you guys, whoever's watching, to be able to connect, empathize, relate, whatever the case may be, you know. Snoop, if you're being nosy, I don't know. But my story time today would be getting fired from a job. And it may sound bad, but honestly, I would say getting fired from this job that I'm about to talk about honestly has been a huge blessing for me, because God will remove you out of situations that doesn't serve you. So I feel like everything happens for a reason, and this definitely happened for the simple reason of God was able to see and hear things in rooms that I wasn't in. And he was just like, you know what? You deserve to be in a better environment professionally, an environment that deserves you. But this job was actually at a daycare in New Jersey. So I've been living in New Jersey for a year. I moved out here with my parents last August of 2024, full time. And yeah, my first job out here was at a daycare. I will not disclose the name of the daycare because, you know, just for some legal reasons. But anywho, my phone is hot as fuck. Okay guys, so I'm gonna hurry up before my phone gets hot again. But basically, I got fired from a daycare, and here's why. Reason one was that I was basically accused of allegedly abusing one of the kids there. This honestly, like, it broke my heart because that was one of my favorite, like, students. And it was also weird because the daycare has cameras, right, in every room for the parents to be able to log in and see what their child is doing throughout the day, right? And it was one kid who was causing harm to herself and to other kids as well. Like, she would go run up to them and charge at them and scratch them. And before this incident happened, many parents were coming to me like, oh my gosh, like, who is scratching my child? They already knew who was scratching their child because their child was verbally, like, stating who was doing it to them. So parents were upset. I kept telling the supervisors, the higher ups, about this child, how maybe we can, like, remove the child from the class or talk to the parent. But the thing with daycares is that they focus more on the economic stance of the company rather than the well-being and safety of the kids there, which is honestly sad. And I'm going to continue. Basically, the day of the incident, the kid kept jumping on top of tables, kept eloping out of classrooms, basically running out of classrooms without any supervision. So not only did I have to supervise her, I was also supervising like maybe 12 other kiddos as well. Mind you, this is kindergarten. Also, one of the kids was on the spectrum of autism. So that kid would also try to elope out of the classroom. And that kid's parents didn't have the kid evaluated to seek more help inside of the daycares. They didn't want any help. So that was another thing that I had to worry about as well. So you have this girl, she was a girl. So I'm going to name her Jessie. So you have Jessie running around, running up to other kids, trying to scratch them, and running around the classroom, throwing things, getting on top of the tables. Everything that Jessie was doing was 100% unsafe. So what I had to do, I was the assistant teacher at the time. The lead teacher left to go help another classroom. Interesting, right? Because shouldn't that lead teacher be catering to her own classroom? Anywho, so I was left alone in the classroom without any help, without any supervision. We had walkies, so it would be numerous times where I would go on the walkie and be like, hey, can someone, help me, SOS, help. Or can someone please get Like, hey, can you please get her out of the classroom? She's being distracting. She's not being safe. She's not listening. A kid not listening is one thing, but a kid not listening and not being safe is another thing. You gotta pack that kid up, go, let her go sit in the office with the supervisor. It was one time she did, and she just destroyed the supervisor's office. So this Jessie was just doing a whole lot in that daycare, a whole lot. Numerous complaints that the parent was well aware of, numerous complaints. And this one time the parent decided, oh, let me look on, and see what my kid is doing. Interesting, right? So the allegations was that I pulled the child's hair and that I was being very aggressive with the child. Okay, Jessie does have long hair. And 2, as I was going to get Jessie, right? Her hair accidentally just, her hair's long. Hey, what can I say? But as soon as I felt a glimpse of her hair follicles, not hair follicles, that's too much. But as soon as I felt a glimpse of her hair, I immediately pulled away. Because what am I doing pulling a child's hair? Anywho, okay, the other accusation was me being aggressive with the child. So my whole goal was to de-escalate the situation to where the child is not harming herself or harming other kids. So that was what I was trying to do. So on camera, it's showing that I, as I was going to get her, because she was on top of a table, as I went to get her off the table or wherever she was doing in the video, it showed that I pulled her hair. But my thing is, pulling hair like this is pulling hair. This is not pulling hair. Oh, that's not pulling hair. That's touching hair and immediately letting go. This is pulling hair. So, yeah. Also, yeah, that was it. But the strange thing is, with this whole story, right, was that the incident happened, I'm just going to make up a day. September 17th. And then the mom filed the complaint, filed the accusations and allegations, whatever, 2 weeks after. 2 weeks after. That's strange, right? Because if a parent thinks that someone is abusing their child, they would immediately report that, right? But the day of, when the mom came to pick up Jessie, the mom told Jessie to apologize to me. Why are you telling your child to apologize to me if you think I'm abusing your child? Also, why I'm not catching those hands? Because if I was a parent and I'm thinking someone's abusing my child or doing anything inappropriately to my child, I don't give not one front door. Who's there? The second I come into that daycare, things are happening. Not good things. Out of character things. Because that's bizarre. So, and there was another incident where the lead teacher had this crush on me and she was love bombing me. And she was 40-something years old. I'm 20-something years old. So this lady was grooming me. And also I was going through a situation where my ex called my job and basically told my job that I was being groomed by my lead teacher. So, yeah, also the lead teacher was the star of the daycare. Everyone praised her. Parents loved her. She was just the www.thebomb.com. Literally, this lead teacher that I worked with was, at this point, calling the shots. Yeah, which is a lot going on at that place. When the state of New Jersey, whenever there's anything going on with kids that are supposedly being abused, whatever the case may be, someone has to come in and investigate. The state. So the state came in, they came to my house because I was under investigation. They told me, and the state state findings said that I am not an abuser. They did not find me to be an abuser. So I was basically found innocent. With all the evidence that they've gathered, all of the interviews, the people they spoke to, whatever the case may be, I was found innocent. And it was very strange situation. And I even spoke to the state about things that I found at that daycare that was just indespicable, like me finding mold in the foods numerous times. It was times where children were being neglected in classrooms. My situation, that is a perfect example, because there's supposed to be 2 teachers in the classroom at all times present. Why did one of the teachers leave her classroom to go help another classroom? Like, was I being set up? God, hey, I may never know. So I'm just glad I'm out of that situation. And hey, guess what? Because I left, I was leaving anyways. Y'all could fire me today, tomorrow, whatever the case may be. I was planning to dibble and dabble anyways, skedaddle. So that was fine with me. I already had like multiple interviews for other jobs lined up anyways. The only reason I like kind of stayed within the investigation was so I can continue to get paid, and because I was at home getting paid because I was being under investigation. So that was it. And the job I have now pays more, is way better professional wise, has way better professional development, and definitely is in the right navigation as far as what I want to do long term. So, I mean, something negative happened, but something positive came out of it, you know? So that's why when times are rough and times get hard and times are just knocking you like left and right, you just got to keep your head up and stay true to yourself, because it was times where I had to question myself, and I'm like, am I a child abuser? Like, I've been working with kids for as long as I've been a child. So this is the first ever complaint that someone has ever came to me and said, oh my gosh, like, you're being like accused of, being aggressive with a child. That right there, it definitely discouraged me from ever wanting to work with kids again. But, I've had conversations with God, had conversations with myself, and had to stay true to myself and say, you know what? This was one situation that I will not ever get myself into again. Whenever I'm working. I'm not there to mingle, make friends, And whenever someone is doing something that is putting me in a weird or bad situation, I will advocate for myself, because it's just people take advantage of those who are nice, kind, young, beautiful, have so much to offer. In that whole situation, definitely I was taken advantage of by the company, by the daycare, by the lead teacher, by the supervisors. So, I'm so glad that I learned from that lesson and I moved on. But that is just, it's crazy. Also, guys, I want to add in the fact that when you are working with kids, whether it's school districts, daycares, clinics, it is vital that you build good rapport with parents. Jesse's mother and we've had numerous conversations before this incident. But they were good conversations. Like, the mother genuinely confided in me, spoke to me about things that the child was doing at home that she may have been worried about with the child. Like, I thought me and Jesse's mom were on, fair, professional, good terms, Because, like I said before, this kid, Jesse, was literally one of my favorite kids in that classroom. And, it's been months since that situation happened, but sometimes I think about her, I do. I really do, because it was things that she was doing in the classroom sometimes that made me question what was going on at home. Like, I was genuinely concerned for her. Like, it would be times where she would, yeah, I don't want to get into that, but I really liked her because a part of me saw myself in her. Like, I was kind of like that as a kid. And whenever I see a kid that is dysfunctional or just doing a whole bunch of things out of, ways, you know, part of me wants to like save them. Like, helping them is like helping heal my inner child. It really is, And that whole situation definitely broke my heart because it kind of was like, wait, whoa, where is this coming from? This happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the mom is now reporting this. Yeah. It happened so like subtle, so slow, and very odd. you know. But like I said before, I'm truly blessed and I'm truly grateful for the experience, for the learning experience. And I really wanted to just share that story of me getting fired, because sometimes, that was my first time getting fired from a job. I normally leave a job before I ever get fired, and that was my plan, to leave. But hey, I was, trying to collect that money, okay? But in my head, I left. I didn't get fired. But yeah, very, very strange experience. Very strange, because normally when stuff like that actually happens, a parent is supposed to take action immediately, not 2 or 3 weeks after it happened. So that really made me question, but the company no longer wanted to work with me, and I honestly believe that it wasn't because of that, because the investigator even stated that it's numerous times where people are allegedly abusing a child in a daycare and they're found innocent, or whatever the case may be, way worse situations than what I was experiencing, and they go back to work like they're not fired. So what the investigator stated, that just because the state stated that I am innocent, like I'm on good terms, is up to the company to decide whether or not they want to keep me. And it was another situation going on with their favorite lead teacher being put on the spotlight in a negative way in regards to whether or not she potentially groomed me, and that's a whole different story for another video of how I got groomed by a 40-something-year-old woman. Yeah. But hey, you leave one door and another door opens for you. Honestly, there's always another way, always another opportunity waiting for you. And the opportunity may be better. Yeah. You lose some, you win some. But guess what? I lost the bag and I got a bigger one. Okay? Period. Point blank.